All right, and joining me today is Tom Aspinall, who fights Jake Collier at UFC Fight Island 3, Whitaker versus Till. So, Tom, I wanted to start by asking you, obviously you were booked all the way back a long time ago to fight in London, close to your hometown. Do you wish that you got to debut in London, or do you really love the idea that kind of like Fight Island is your debut?
To be honest, I'm not really too bothered about where I debut. To be honest with you, as long as I get to fight, that's all that really matters. So it would have been nice to fight in London because they had a lot of people coming for it and stuff. But obviously the circumstances stopped that, so that's kind of out of my control a little bit. So there's nothing I could really do. So here we are.
Yeah, and obviously you're a little bit more loose about where it could be. Did it bother you that you had to wait, that you put in the training camp, were just about ready to fight, and it kind of the rug was pulled out from underneath you?
I mean, it wasn't great because I was prepared for it, but if you want me to be honest with you, to be completely honest, I didn't have the best training camp the first time, and this time has been so much better. So maybe it was a blessing in disguise. I don't know. Obviously, I still would have turned up, and I still would have fought, and I think I still would have won. But this time's been so much better.
That's interesting. What about the training camp didn't feel like it was like a proper good training camp?
I had a few injuries that I was dealing with. I was dealing with a few personal stuff as well. And I just wasn't feeling great. The diet wasn't great as well. This training camp is the first time I've ever had like a real diet where I'm actually feeling good and stuff. The other time I was just like all over the place trying to do it properly and it wasn't working. And I just didn't feel great. And this time it's much better.
That's interesting. In obviously we don't want you to disclose injuries right before you go into a fight, but what was the amount of time you took off enough for all of those injuries to heal up? Or are you 100% going into this one?
Yeah, I'm more than 100%. To be honest, maybe injuries is the wrong word. Maybe it was like more like knocks. I had a few knocks, a few, just I was just a bit beat up. Do you know what I mean? In the first time, and like a combination, like an accumulation of things was bothering me at the same time. So yeah, this time I've got nothing like that. I'm all good.
Well, and it's fun that you're on this card too, because obviously it's being headlined by Darren Till, who is also a British guy and a guy who you know pretty well. How exciting is it to be on the same card as him to make your UFC debut?
It's exciting. Do you know what I mean? It's good that we have the same training camp and stuff, and we're all preparing for the same day because we've got another teammate, Mike Grundy, on the card as well. So we've all been preparing together, but it's not the first time. We've all fought on the same card before, I think, or we have quite a big team, so it's always good to prepare together, I think, rather than just to prepare on your own. So I
It,
like that.
is it weird too that you're used to preparing together with a bunch of guys who are going to be on the same card, and then suddenly you're in all these weird quarantines, like right, like you're on your own for a second. Maybe you're with your coaches, maybe you're not with your coaches. Is it odd that like this is kind of like a broken up version of that?
Yeah, I mean, it is kind of weird that just like a lot of things in this pandemic, that a lot of it just doesn't really make sense. It's like I think there's like eight of us on the trip with the three fighters and the coaches. And obviously the eight of us have been together like nearly every day for the last, I don't know, 6 weeks at least. And then we all have to go into like different rooms and stuff, and we can't see each other now for I think 3 days or something, and we can't even leave the room. But like I say, there's a lot of, I don't know about where you are, but in the UK at the moment, there's a lot of like contradicting guidelines and rules and stuff like that. So a lot of it doesn't really make sense. So I'm just kind of just taking it for what it is. I follow the rules and that's it really.
And I think that's probably all you can do at this point too. Is it difficult trying to figure out what you're going to do to train day to day, or are you able to contact your coaches enough to like almost work through a training session? Because I know now you're not doing any like heavy sparring this close to a fight or anything like that, but obviously you'd usually be drilling or hitting mitts or something like that. What have you been doing to stay fresh?
Well, like you said, the hard work's kind of done really at this point. I think we're on Thursday today, so it's still 9 or 10 days till we fight, something like that. So I'm just trying to stay loose, to be honest with you. I've had kind of a long training camp, so just basic stuff. So just like shadow boxing, yoga, trying to move around, keep the body loose more than anything. Just don't let myself stiffen up. Try and keep the breathing going, the lungs and stuff like that. Because I find if you don't train for a few days, it's kind of like when you start to train again, your lungs they're not really used to going. I don't know. It's difficult to describe, but I just try and keep. Last night I did some like Baz Rutten workout that I found on YouTube where basically he just calls out the combinations and you just throw them. So that was pretty easy. I didn't really have to think. I just threw them shot. But we're in this room and we've been told not to open the windows, so it was fucking hot in here, man. It was so hot.
So you're in your room. You're looking at Baz Rutten workouts. Were you specifically looking for Baz? Why? How did you stumble upon that video?
To be honest, I can't really remember. I think it just came up to me. On YouTube recommendation things, I think it just came up, so I just clicked on it, and then I think it was like 10 2-minute rounds, and he just calls the combination, so you don't really have to think or anything. You know, sometimes if you're putting your own workout together, well, me personally, if I'm doing my own workout, I'll just change it 5 times within the workout. So if this was easy, I just kind of just followed what he said. It was easy.
That's awesome. It's good to know that El Guapo was helpful in your training camp. Let's talk a little bit about the fight itself, because you were obviously scheduled to fight Jake Collier, but you were also scheduled to fight him back in March. How much preparation had you done for him back in March before your opponent switched then?
I mean, he was a change because first of all, I was supposed to fight a Brazilian guy. They did change. They changed it quite far out, so I think I still had about 4 or 5 weeks to prepare for Jake Collier. So it's almost like I've done 2 training camps for him now. So I just kind of picked it up just where I left off with in terms of. But with Jake, it's difficult because he's not fought for like over 2 years, so don't really know what to expect because a lot of stuff can change in 2 years. So we're just kind of going off his old fights, but just trying to focus on me a little bit more as opposed to what he's going to do, because it's hard to figure out what someone's going to do when they're fighting regular, never mind when they've had 2 years off. So just trying to focus on what I'm doing a little bit more than what he's doing.
That makes a lot of sense, and obviously, you know, you're a well-rounded guy. You can do the stand-up. You're great with ground and pound. Is there a part of your game that you worked on most in this training camp?
I think with every training camp, you've got to work on everything, obviously, but I was trying to work a lot of footwork, to be honest with you, this training camp, because I know he likes to march forward, to plod forward a little bit, throw a lot of punches and kicks. So just trying to keep that distance, keep it long, and just use my footwork well, which I should use anyway. I've not really used much footwork in a lot of my fights, to be honest with you. So hopefully I'm going to get to show off a little bit of that this time.
And what do you think the reason is that you weren't able to? Is it just that you've ended so many of them fast? Is it that it's been in the regional scene where, you know, guys aren't as good as they are in the UFC?
Well, in my earlier fights, I didn't really have the footwork that I've got right now. So that's something that I developed over the last couple of years. And since I've been back doing MMA, it's just, the fights have just been pretty quick, and I've not really needed to as well. So, it's just not really worked out yet, but I'm looking forward to showing that, because I'll have to move my feet a lot more because these guys have some serious power. So I'll have to start working my defense a little bit better.
Absolutely. And obviously, you know, before I let you go, I do really like to get a prediction out of my fighters. Do you have a way that you see this fight going with Jake Collier this upcoming weekend?
I don't think, I know, and it's proven that I've got something that some fighters have, but not all fighters have. And what I've got is, I believe that I've got God-given power in both hands. So I think with the speed that I possess and with the power that I've got, that if I'm gonna hit him clean, he's gonna go to sleep. And that's not just for Jake. Do you know what I mean? That can be for anyone. I just need to land once, and that's it. So I think I'm gonna knock him out.
All right. Well, you heard it here first, folks. This is Tom Aspinall, who fights Jake Collier at UFC Fight Island number 3. Thanks so much for the time, man. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, brother. Thank you very much.